Alright, what's going on, guys? Got a more of just an informational video today. Nothing really too tech-wise, just a few tips on shockers, but most of all I was doing a video today to, as the title should explain, after I make it, when I go and edit this, because I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. It's I'm just going to kind of show you guys what a decent parts kit has. I know Mike at TechPB kind of did this, and it was actually a really good video on just basic shit you should always keep in your gear bag. You know, stuff you want to bring to the field, a good stock to keep at home, depending on what guns you have. But first off, I'd like to say that what I have as a tech kit is not. It's a very overexpanded and advanced version of what most people are going to have, just because I think, let's see if we can zoom this camera in over here. Yeah, there's a big pile of guns there. I've got 26 guns right now. So there's a big pile right there, and then of course, if we can zoom this back out, there's the species over there on its pedestal. So I have a shit ton more stuff than most people are ever going to need. But as you guys know, I tech guns all the time. I've got 2 shockers right in front of me from Superman over at TechPB, and I've got another one on the way from LV Backpacker. And I go to the park and I tech guns, and I come home and I tech guns, and it's a lot of what I do, so I have way more shit than most people would ever need. So just to start off, here are Superman's 2 shockers that I got, and they were not functioning correctly. They were getting air through the system, and they weren't shooting correctly. One of them wasn't shooting at all. So just quick stuff on shockers. When I ripped these apart and cleaned them up and did what I had to do, one of them had a small little tiny O-ring. And if you guys don't have shockers, this is a shocker manifold. It sits. Let's use the silver one so you can actually see where I'm pointing here. If you guys don't have shockers, again, the shocker body is right here. The entire bolt kit is in here, and then the solenoid on a shocker is screwed to the bottom of the body and sits right here, dropping into the trigger frame. And between the solenoid and the body sits this little manifold, pretty much right here. And let's see if we can zoom in so I can show you guys. This is a black one. Do I have a red one left? No, I used them all on my nerves. But so let's try and zoom in a little bit here. As you can see, it's got these little tiny holes in it, which the camera seems to be having trouble focusing on. So zoom out and I'll just move it in. See, it's got all these little tiny holes in it, and on each of those holes on each side is a little tiny O-ring. And I've got a bunch of those laying around. And they look like this. They're super tiny, and all 6 of those are especially shaped just for shocker manifolds. There are 2 on one side that are elongated. They're more oval than circle, so you can't really. I know you can go and buy O-rings from non-paintball suppliers. There are plenty of places out there you can get O-rings that work just fine on most stuff as long as you know the size. But those O-rings are especially made for shocker manifolds, and you can't get them anywhere else except for paintball stuff. And nowadays for shockers, you're just kind of looking at shockerrepair.com is a great site, actually. Smartparts.com, I think maybe has some, and if you buy like an O-ring rebuild kit for shocker, it'll have a couple in it. But those are crucial. If you are missing one of those, which I found one of these shockers was missing one of those little O-rings on the body manifold side, not the side of the manifold that's connected to the solenoid, it will leak. You'll hear gas running through the gun. It won't leak up until you shoot, and then the gas won't, not enough gas gets through to make the shot, so you'll have this little putzing sound and the bolt won't fully cycle. It may not even move at all because the pressure is completely shot from missing that O-ring. So that was one of the problems. I went through and just cleaned up the bolt guides and lubed them, and shocker bolts need a liberal amount of lube on the bolts, both the moving O-rings and the non-moving O-rings. I showed you guys how to do that in the shocker repair videos, but I went through and did that. I reset the dwell on both the boards. I start at 25, and I showed you guys this, and I said it in earlier videos. Once you have the reg rebuilt and correctly tuned, start the dwell off at 20 or 25. I think 25 is the factory default for shocker boards, the nerve ramping board, the NXT board, it's all the same. And then you go up by 5 and you shoot, and once you get the gun to shoot, this is also a way to get rid of first shot drop off. You keep going up by 5, and once you get the gun to shoot, you go down by 1 and you see if the gun is still shooting, and then you can go down by 1. So you're going up by increments of 5, and then when you find that it does shoot, you can kind of work your way down and see right where it's sitting at, right where you want your dwell. I ended up putting the dwell at, I think it's right around 35 for both of these, which is quite normal for a shocker. It gets rid of that first shot drop off, but it also doesn't overpower and blow the solenoid. It's right in that little happy medium. There is one problem I ran into. The NXT max flow reg, the vertical max flow right here, the NXT reg is different than an SFT reg or the old style max flows in the way it's put together, and you actually need a special, you don't need a special tool, but you need a tool to actually get this thing apart. You need a 9/16 deep well socket, and the socket's going to be about that long because there's actually a nut that sits right about here, and you have to use that deep well socket to unscrew it, or else you can't get anything apart. I finished fixing these up last night using a different regulator, and they both work fine. I have not ventured into my basement. I don't think I have a 9/16 socket, so I'm going to have to go to the store to buy that, because both these regs need to be rebuilt. It's the only problem left with these guns. Other than that, they're fine. So that's just some quick stuff about shockers. You know, if you're having problems, even if you just lubed it, take the bolt guide out, wipe it all off, redo it, start off with a decent amount, and then, because shockers burn through that lube pretty quickly, reset your board to the factory defaults for dwell. Just leave it on semi, don't worry about any of the modes, just mess with the dwell. It's really simple, and that should get you going in most cases, unless you need a reg rebuild. If you do need a reg rebuild, if it's an SFT shocker, I have a video up on how to rebuild those. Those are very simple. If it's, for some reason, an old school max flow that you got on there, or any other reg, they're usually pretty simple. I have a video for the old school max flow regs. If you have anything else on there, like a CP reg, I haven't done the video on that because I'm not sure. I guess I just haven't taken it apart. But that's a really popular upgrade, CP regs on shockers, because that's usually one of the first things people go for. But it's all really simple stuff, except for this NXT reg. It does require an outside tool, and I'll get that. And when I do get that tool, I'll put the video up, and I'll just make a video of how to do an NXT max flow reg. So that's all I've got for the shockers. Other than that, Superman, your shockers are working great. Just need to do those reg rebuilds. So we'll put those aside, and we'll get on to the other part, which is the toolkit. So with all the stuff that he sent me, I said it would be great if he sent me whatever parts kit he had for these shockers. So this is what I got. These first of all, these are like these you can get at any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. It's basically just a fishing tackle box, or a small tool sorter box, or like a box for screws or nails or whatever. They work great for paintball parts. I have about 4 of these, and then my big one. But this is what he's got in it, which is really all you need. He's got an ample amount of O-rings. Let's see if we can pull all these out here. So he's got enough O-rings for a rebuild ×2 at least. He's got extra manifold and solenoid screws and manifold O-rings. He has an on-off button which works for the shockers and the nerves, all models of shocker, and that's a really handy thing to have. Sometimes those break. The little nub that pushes on the button on the upper board sometimes wears down. It's just a good thing to have. In here he's got an extra on-off, which is a New Designs on-off, which is one of my favorite on-offs. That's always good to have. Extra 90-degree fitting. It's attached to the on-off, but you never know when you're going to need a fitting. A couple of random screws. These look like grip screws. He still has the stock parts for the black NXT shocker, the vertical reg adapter, and the feed neck. If you're going to upgrade your gun and you bought it new in box, or you bought it used but it still has all the stock parts and you start throwing it on, just simple tip, keep the stock parts. Those are good for resale, because if you go to sell that thing, I mean, unless you just want to sell it with all the stuff on it because it's easier, which is understandable, take all that crap off, throw all the stock parts on, and then sell those aftermarket parts or keep them. You will make more money, and it's just a lot easier. He has the instruction manual for the New Designs V3 bolt kit that's in that black NXT. Instruction manuals, keep them. Most of us don't read them, but when shit goes down and your gun gets all kinds of fucked up and you're on your own, these are a great thing to have. They usually come with installation and troubleshooting, which this one does. It even tells you what tools you need, quick troubleshooting, and what the kit comes with. So instruction manuals are good to have. I have a ton of instruction manuals. On occasion I buy instruction manuals just on their own, just to have them. But something like this is really all you need. If you're going to the park, maybe a couple tools. A set of Allens is always good to have. A screwdriver, because, you know, just get a screwdriver with a removable tip that's got a Phillips and flathead, or you can just buy 2 separate screwdrivers, whatever works for you. Other than that, that's about it. Maybe if you're gonna break your gun down that far, maybe if you blow an O-ring, an O-ring pick might be helpful. But something like this it's good, it's solid, it's got everything you need to just swap out O-rings or replace the stock parts for some reason your upgraded parts go down. So this is a good solid kit. It's really all you need. Like I said, don't take what I have for granted, because I have so much more shit than you could ever need. So this is my big kit, and let's see if we can turn the camera and kind of get in there. So this is my giant kit. It's a lot of it is Smart Parts stuff, which I work on Smart Parts guns here at my house almost exclusively, and at the park I actually get in quite a few shockers, so you guys can see all that stuff. I'm gonna pull the power cord here and we can get into some of the stuff I do have. So up at the top right there you can see I've got a couple, well, I got one circuit board that's just a Smart Parts lower board, a couple battery wire harnesses, some extra wiring just in case, because splicing wire is pretty easy. That little bin right there is all just random screws from all kinds of stuff. If you don't have the stock screw, you can always find screws that fit. So right in there in that next one that looks like it has nothing, that's just a few little miscellaneous screws from shocker bodies. In that next one, the shocker manifolds. In that next one, I've got shocker eyes and detents and eye covers. Right up here where my thumb is, there's solenoid inserts for shockers, electrical tape. I don't know why I'm stalling on this. This is plumber's tape. So there's a couple upper boards for shockers right here. And in the end I've got fittings. There's a couple 90-degree macro elbow fittings. There's I have a Planet Eclipse QEV, which can work on autocockers, all kinds of stuff, external stuff. There's a blow-off valve. There's a tank gauge. Down here I've got shocker vertical adapters. In here, triggers from shockers and a couple other guns. This is O-rings right next to it. Shocker bolts, firing cans, and bolt sleeves. Here's some more random parts, nerve stuff, shocker stuff. Down here I've got extra batteries, micro hose. This is autococker hosing or intimidator hosing. There's an extra shocker solenoid. This is all macro line, different sizes. So right there I've got grease, sleek, and a toothbrush. Toothbrush is great for cleaning off guns, especially like the small inner parts because the bristles really get in there. And O-ring picks, which are basically just dental picks. This is lubes, still lubes and stuff like that. Here's oil, Loctite, shocker lube. These are all kinds of O-ring kits that I have put together. There's an extra shocker regulator. This is just for broken stuff. It's a shocker noid and some upper boards. Then down here at the bottom, I'll pull some of this stuff out, show you guys what I have. I have 2 sets of Allens, so I can get all sizes. You can get a set of Allens that has all the sizes in it. The places I went to did not have full sets, so I have 2 different sets to go from that super little tiny one, the .050, all the way up to the 3/8. Small screwdriver kit, like an eyeglass screwdriver kit. Very handy to have, especially for shockers because of those little tiny Phillips head screws on the solenoids. Eyeglass screwdriver kit, good stuff to have. I've got basically a big pocket knife. It's an all-in-one. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. You know, like a little mini flashlight. Always useful. You never know when you're going to need just random stuff. This is a wrench. It was stock with the ions, came stock with NXT shockers. It's used to adjust the regulators. Handy to have if you have that. There's more macro line down here. There's more autococker and intimidator hose. I actually keep solder and a soldering gun just in case I have to do some rewiring. All my manuals are down here. Just in case I run into Angels for some reason, I have an Angel car charger, and I have this car charging wall socket adapter thing so I can use it wherever. And again, in case I run into Angels, let's see if I can find all the parts for this. I've got a full Angel pressure tester kit. Again, because I work with all these different guns, this is why I have all this random crap. I have this screwdriver in here, which has an amazing amount of bits in it. This has got like star bits, hex bits, locking screws, bits, all kinds of stuff in here. There's an extra regulator, and it's a jackhammer too, and ANS gear. You can use this on autocockers or impulses. Keep a spare one of these around because I do a lot of work on autocockers, and I'll swap this out to see if it's the LPR that's wrong with the gun. Halo eyes, you know, just in case. I work on loaders too. Battery harness, you can use these in halos, pulses, empires, all kinds of stuff. Crescent wrench, always great to have. This little tiny one is great for traveling. Here's another piece of the Angel pressure tester kit. More manuals, and then just in case, I've got some barrel backs. It's just a SFT freak back and an SFT All-American back. Never know when you're going to need stuff like that. So this is my big parts box, but I will show you guys my small one, and I will kind of pick out and show you what I take to the field with me, just to give you guys an idea of what I use. Again, man, shit's falling all over the place. Don't use what I use as a basis because I carry so much shit, and usually if I go to a field to play, I'm going to bring 3 or 4 guns, a lot of times just to try out different shit. Because depending on what I play, I use a couple different guns. I'll use, if I'm going out into the woods and I know the game's going to be 10 or 15 minutes long, I'm not going to go bring a shocker because I'm going to run out of air in the first 2 minutes. And I'm not going to be able to even shoot all the paint that I have. So I'll go out with like an Intimidator or an Autococker, you know, something that's decent on air. So I can take all this down, and I'll go grab my box. So these are the two boxes I generally bring. They're pretty much the same thing. It's just see, so this one still has a sticker on it. It's just a part storage box. And in this one, it's pretty empty because a lot of my tools are in that big one right now because I haven't gone to the park in a while. Adhesive tape, extra batteries, oil. In this, I will keep electrical tape, the O-ring picks, whatever guns I'm bringing. I'll put in a couple spare parts. I'll bring a small O-ring set just in case. A couple random screws for that gun. A knife, a small knife, something like this I usually have in my bag anyway. It's always handy. And in this one, you can see I've got eyeglass screwdrivers, an iron wrench, oil, another toothbrush for cleaning out the paint shell and all that thin shit. Here's an autococker valve tool. I'm not sure why that's still in there. I should put that in my other parts kit. Put that right there. A small razor blade. I use this to actually cut macro sometimes if I don't have scissors or whatever. But I take, you know, bare minimum: a screwdriver, a knife, a wrench, an O-ring kit for the gun, electrical tape just in case, and a couple spare parts. You know, not much. You don't need to take that giant kit to the field every time you go. I take it to the park because I go to the park and I just fix more guns, so I just take that thing with me. But you know, that's all you really need. You don't need much. This is not really a gear bag thing. I can do a gear bag thing to show you guys what I bring to the park for, you know, I guess beginner kind of stuff. But that's just pretty much my parts kit. That's what I'm work with. That's what I work with every day. I go online and look on PB Nation, look on the miscellaneous section, and look on the gear bag sales for spare parts and that kind of stuff. I do that all the time. O-ring kits I buy in bulk. Oil I get from the park, so I don't need to buy any of that. Other than that, I just wanted to show you guys pretty much, give you guys an example of, you know, how to build a decent kit, parts kit, what to bring with you, and give you guys an idea of maybe if you want to, you know, make up your own little kit. It's having a kit like that in your bag at the park is invaluable, because if it's bad conditions, you know, these are highly advanced electronics. These are electro-pneumatic systems that are very fine-tuned, and you're working with very delicate parts. And the technology behind paintball guns, not, you know, a lot of people just take for granted. This is amazing technology, and it's bound to fail. The best guns in the world go down all the time. Go to a pro event and look how many extra guns that a team brings with them, because they go down a lot because of the hard play. So if you guys don't do that, I hope it helped. If you do that, I hope it gave some pointers, some tech tips on what to bring and everything like that. I'm going to get this up so I can render it and get it up online, and I think I'm going to go play some Battlefield for a little while. So take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.